Welcome back, everybody. Got the next episode, Nostalgia Series, episode 5. Hopefully I won't be getting a content ID strike as I did the last video, so hopefully this would actually even be visible for your guys' enjoyment. I went with this video because, well, I grew up with this kind of music, especially living in the Pacific Northwest area. And if you haven't gathered from the title, a theory at its finest. Especially if you see it in the background, if you recognize what this video is going to be. If you don't, well, strap on in. It's one of those songs that I do enjoy, driving, 10, 15 over the speed limit. Don't do that though, because you may get pulled over. But yeah, it's one of those songs that it's fuel pumping, and even the music video. Now I haven't seen the music video in years. But I listen to this song every now and again, and it's definitely a fun song to jam out to. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and mute this mic here, and we'll go ahead and get started. Let's do it. It's evolution, baby. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of them videos, man. That is, yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that one. So Pearl Jam's Do the Evolution came out on the Yield album. I think it was like 99. This is kind of off script. I didn't even do any research on this guy. I just wanted to do the video, but yeah, so kind of a critique on that video. I mean, there is a lot of context in terms of how humanity is kind of played out in the short run, the long run, and the future run, so to speak. Very, very cool themes, very thematic in the sense of, what we go to war for, how we go to war for it, what's it called? The diversity and inclusion that's involved in between all of them. Yeah, it's very, very, what's the word? It's matter of fact is what it is. In terms of where we're actually kind of headed. I especially love the end in terms of the technological aspect, and there is a quick little blip of the politician, and then behind the scene, the politician, you saw a hand holding the strings and stuff like that. We're seeing a lot of that unraveling today. But then you have the flip side. You have someone that's, pulling the strings and you don't know who it is, or you have someone that's kind of like, is a bull in a China shop, or Chinese wear shop, just goes off the hinges and just, But then a lot of people equate that with, authoritarianship and someone that's going off the rails. Personally, I would rather see someone going off the rails and know who that person is and expose the people who are behind the strings. Because a lot of those string pullers are the ones that like to, put people into jeopardizing situations, such as war in and of itself. And then you have the whole religious aspect of it. They touched upon it a little bit, but the crosses. Now, the interesting thing is with the whole crosses scenario, everyone subjectifies crucifixion to Jesus dying on the cross. But that was actually, like, back in the Roman, that was the term of execution. And then how that term of execution went into the guy on the electric chair, and that became our term of electrocution or execution, I guess. Sorry, that's the correct word, execution. But yeah, and then you have the girl running through the woods, ignorantly blissful, and then stepping on an ant pile is synonymous with, men going to war and stepping on a landmine, completely ignorant in the fact of the direction that they're going. In that same kind of direction, kind of twisting in the fact that, our own technological, you saw how the steps of technological advancement into our own, into our own benefactor has always led into a sense of our own destruction in the long run. It showed the Industrial Revolution and how the Industrial Revolution brought in the new mechanisms of warfare, the machine gun and the rockets flying into the air, and then eventually got to the point of digitization, which is very, very. That video came out, I think, 99, 2000. And that, man, I'll tell you what, Pearl Jam hit it on the head with that one. You could kind of see it then, but a lot of people didn't. The whole idea of doing YouTube and streaming and everything on the phone, being able to tap it. It's like we don't even have a computer in the cubicle. We got this guy, and everyone's just like this the whole time. Which I try not to do as much as possible. If I have YouTube or anything like that, it's always in the background. I'm actually keeping myself busy doing something. But that's beside the point. So why do I say a theory at its finest? Well, I'll be honest with all y'all. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, with all this topic and stuff like that, go ahead, leave a comment. I'd love to hear your opinion on this video. But yeah, back to theory at its finest. I love the idea of its evolution, baby. Granted, I'm a believer myself, not of evolution, of actual creationism, because I find that to actually be a little bit more, I couldn't say factual, but then again, evolution isn't really factual. It's been told it's been factual, and if you tell a lie long enough, people tend to believe it. But the thing about, behind science and the idea of evolution, science is always designed to be questioned. The scientific method is always a constant of questioning the current status quo of what science is. And I think a lot of people are actually turning around in this fact that, especially with the creation of AI. I mean, think about it this way. Did AI come about by itself? Not really. It was designed, it was manufactured. Granted, it's not in a biological sense. It's more of a technological sense. But the same thing can be applied in a biological sense, where it's like, okay, what came before, the chicken or the egg? That kind of deal. A lot of people, constitute, well, we have the the evolutionary standards, Australopithecus, all those, fossilizations and stuff. And it's like, okay. First off, you all read that in a book, just like a believer reads in the Bible. Second off, you weren't there, okay? You can make any kind of conjectures that you want, but when it comes down to it, when you dig something out of the earth, you're only giving a estimated best guess. And even then, that's just a guess in the long run. So to actually think of it as factual, and then we have the whole idea of why I say it's the theory at its finest, they always say survival of the fittest, and there's a lot of things around that, okay, how the heck did you survive? This evolutionary process. But in the same vein of it, when you think about the actual human condition, I mean, even you can attribute it to a whole evolutionary theory of survival of the fittest, or you can attribute it to the actual nature of sin in of itself. When you have greed and exploitation and being able to, basically it's a power struggle. And it's always been a power struggle. I mean, heck, you got good versus evil. Boom, power struggle. So when it really comes down to it, it's not really an evolution, evolution at its finest, or a theory at its finest, or it's evolution, baby. That's kind of what's very indicative of this music video, is the whole idea that it's cyclical. There's a cycle that happens, and how much of that cycle is gonna keep, expanding upon each other. And that's where you get the whole idea of, okay, way back in the day, it was the caveman with the rock. Stuff happened, and then it goes to the Roman Empire and stuff, and then you have spears and horses, and cycle all the way to tanks and machine guns. And now it's cycling into this new thing where we don't even know what the heck's about to happen. They're saying computers are reaching the point of singularity, and AI is pretty much going to be the dominant factor within the next 5 years. So it's very, very interesting to see how the context of human nature in and of itself trying to be a benefactor in the advancements of human evolution, when really it's not an evolution at all. It's a cyclical matter. I actually asked Grok, the whole point of evolutionary process, and then I asked, and it gave me the whole rigmarole of evolutionary science in a summarized little platform. But then I asked it about its own evolution, and it said, well, I'm just a software-based kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, but, the hardware behind it, being composed of just ones and zeros, binary code, do you see an advancement of your actual, that's considered your DNA structure. What is it that, that you would perceive as an actual evolutionary leap? Not in a software sense, but an actual hardware sense. What is an evolutionary leap for a digital consciousness? For one, I basically negated the fact, saying, hey, humans are seeing the integration of technology and technology within the skin, biotech, and they see transhumanism sees it as a form of the next step of evolution. But I'm like, but that's not a natural process. If we were to go in the way of evolution, it would have to be a natural state of process. And I do not believe or adhere to the idea that our own digital augmentation can lead to a benefactor of us evolving in a proper sense. Heck, even the manipulation of our genetic code to ensure that our offspring, are a certain kind of weights, physique, hairstyles, skin color, you name it, eye color, acne, those kind of things. It's still not part of an evolutionary process when you're forcefully augmenting a natural state of things. Anyways, yeah, go ahead, leave your comments down there on the bottom. I could go on, and like for me, one thing that I'm adhering to is I do believe that humans were a lot smarter in the past than I do these days. If you look at architecture and the amount that scientists are baffled by the human ingenuity of ancient days, it just goes to show, it's like, hey man, no, anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself on that. I just do believe that ancient cultures were a lot smarter than our current average day culture to begin with. So, but anyways, yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think. Go ahead, post your comments, and tell me what you think of this video. And yeah, anyway, that's all I have for today. Until next time, keep jamming, everybody. Peace.